Hello, friends. Yes, we're about 2 weeks behind again. Of course, life just keeps happening. Life keeps going on. And
On bright news,
on the bright news, we're still here.
and Daddy got a job,
Yeah,
and it's my birthday today.
yeah.
I'm 26.
Turd Bucket here turns 26.
Oh, yesterday.
And his brother, his twin brother Isaac,
Yesterday I turned 26.
he's on drill right now. But they turned 26 today, or yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was talking about, we talking about our first love and our first sexual experience and basic and AIT training in the military, all that stuff that goes along with it. The breakup, of course, I know. Yeah, with any first love, any kind of first breakup like that, it's really, really bothersome. Because you don't expect someone to do that to you that you're not used to being done in a certain way. You're trying to put negative vibes and negative atmospheres behind you, but they keep finding you. And of course, that's going to be pretty much my life story. We end up with a negative vibe, a negative atmosphere, then I find some positives, and then we go back to some negative. And it's just life's a roller coaster ride, and it's always going to be that way. It don't matter if you're poor, middle class, or even if you're rich. Life's going to do that to you. It's going to put you on a roller coaster. You're going to go up, you're going to go down, you're going to go through a corkscrew, you're going to swing upside down, be upside down, get hung upside down, then go back up and come back down and go around a couple of curves and then come to a stop. And then if we even have a chance to get back out of the roller coaster, it's going to take off again. That's life for you. That leads us up to the next point when we're talking about. Because like I said, I went back into depression again. Went back into feeling lonely. Had some opportunities, but I was just too beaten up to take advantage of them. Was one girl, a friend of my sister's. I went over to the house. Will you stop doing that? Went over to the house for a little bit one night, and she just walked up to me and gave me a big hug. Then was going to drive off over to a friend's house, and she wanted to go to hers and show me some stuff. And we were sitting in the car. She just reached over and just put her tongue down my throat. But the thing is, kind of screwed that one up with a dead battery. If I hadn't had a dead battery, I might have gotten a piece that night. But we pulled up there and I turned my car off. And she wanted to show me a horse and ride around on a horse, and he was going to put a horse up. I thought she was going to ride her horse. Had to get a jump from her family because my car battery died, and that entire setup just blew itself up out of the water, and it didn't happen. But probably a good thing it didn't happen because she was a little too
Special?
Yeah, she was. Well, no, not special, but she was a little too.
She's special in the kinky way.
Yeah, she just wanted to have a one nighter, and she just wanted some sex. But it didn't work out. Not all of them came out that way. Sometimes I did have one night stands, but this one didn't work out. It kind of blew up. It kind of blew up out of the water. But I wrote a poem called Tears of the Tiger. It's a pretty serious poem. Like I said, I had poems published in the local paper from time to time when I was down in Benton Bryan area, and the Benton Courier published a few of my poems because I was in the Poets Forum. Of course, it didn't last very long. And my poems were actually read, and it was read by some of my coworkers. I went into work one night and saw my poem plastered on the bulletin board. I thought that's pretty cool, and they said that poem was pretty. They read that poem and saw my name there and said that was pretty cool. That poem was sharp. And of course, the tiger and me are basically two peas in a pod. He's a loner. He's by himself. Didn't really have any friends. Didn't really travel in a herd. He travels alone. And so I thought the tiger, and I thought about myself. I don't have a whole lot of friends. I'm usually alone. I usually fight my own battles by myself, which is what he does. He has no backup. He has no male or female backup. He fights his battles by himself. And so that's how this poem got inspired. I was thinking about the tiger and how he lived his life, and how my life was. Don't waste all that. And how my life was about the same way. So this poem here is called "Tears of the Tiger." And of course, they say when you write poems, you don't want to use a repetitive word, but for this poem, it is necessary to use a repetitive word. So they say writers usually, poets usually say that using repetitive words kind of takes away from the poem. But this one, I think it kind of adds to the lure of the poem because it's descriptive. It's a descriptive word, and it leads into the next line in a more profound manner, so to speak. Without the word, it just sounds off. And I tried it without the repetitiveness of the word, and it didn't work. So that's why I put it back in. So this is the poem, "Tears of the Tiger." And you'll see the repetitiveness of said word, because you'll hear it often. But like I said, without it, it takes away from the lure of the poem. It don't sound right. In fact, I might read it in both ways, just to give you an idea of the difference in the meanings of the poem. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it once with the repetitiveness of the word, and then I'm going to read it without the repetitiveness of the word. And I'll let you be your own judge about that one. But I think you'll see keeping this particular word in the poem adds a more profound meaning to the poem. Okay? So here's the Tears of the Tiger. I'm going to read it in two formats. And again, I'm going to let you be your judge, your own judge of it. Okay? So here we go. Tears of the Tiger. The teardrops are hot as burning coal. The blood bubbles from being so cold. The tiger is trying to fulfill a goal. The opposition is very bold. The war continues on and on. The power and force of this great fighter. The tiger mainly fights alone. The battles are fierce, but he's a survivor. The tears from this tiger, the tears from this tiger hurt more. The tears from this tiger seem to mean more. The many roads from here to roar. This tiger has 2 legs instead of 4. Did you get the poem? What do you think about it? Did you catch the last line? You understand what the poem's talking about? Huh? Now I want you to be the judge of the character as well. Okay? So I'm gonna read it, but I'm gonna read to them in a different format without the thee. Okay? Without the thee, I'm gonna read it back. And I'm gonna let y'all and you be the judge, which sounds better. Teardrops are hot as burning coal. Blood bubbles from being so cold. Tiger is trying to fulfill a goal. Opposition is very bold. War continues on and on. Power and force of this great fighter. Tiger mainly fights alone. Battles are fierce, but he's a survivor. Tears from this tiger hurt more. Tears from this tiger seem to mean more. Many roads from here to roar. Tiger has 2 legs instead of 4. Now, which sounds better?
I like both of them.
You like both of them? Which has a more profound pronunciation? Makes the poem more profound and more enunciated. With the thee or without the thee?
Yeah.
Yeah? No
comment.
No comment?
They both sound good to me.
Well, my son seems to think both versions sound pretty good with or without the thee. But I think the thee adds a more pronounced meaning to the poem. It gives it more notoriety. You can judge either way, without the thee or with it. But either way, it's a pretty profound poem, and it's a very intriguing poem. Now, a lot of people, when they read the poem, they get down to the last 2 lines, and they're like, "Is this tiger handicapped? Is this tiger? Is he hurt or what?" No, the tiger's talking about me. I'm the tiger. But we're using the tiger's metaphor to describe who I am. That's why on the last line, this tiger has 2 legs instead of 4. It lets you know you're talking about a human and not the actual tiger. So,
the soul of a tiger, not the body of one.
The soul of a tiger, but not the actual body of a tiger. So it's pretty. That's why the poem is so unique and so intriguing, because you're thinking that the entire poem is talking about a tiger, but then you get to the last 2 or 3 stanzas, and you're like, wait a minute, it's not really talking about a tiger. He's talking about a human. But and that's why you got to pay attention. Because some people have had to read it 2, 3, 4 times to figure out, is he talking about a handicapped tiger, or a person, or what? Until you get to the last, until you read it, and then you think, oh, it rings a bell. He's talking about himself, and metaphorically. So that's Tears of the Tiger. I hope you enjoyed that. That was one of my more interesting poems. As you can see, judging by my voice, that I'm not near as sick as I have been. I've gotten a lot better. We've taken some prescription. We're taking some prescription medicines.
You sure my spork?
Taking some prescription medicines and some stuff for my back pain. So I'm feeling a little bit better. My throat's still kind of coarse because of all the hard coughing, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad as it was. Thank God on that. Don't mess with those. We'll tear those up. Like I said, the breakup, it really did. It bothered me. It would bother me for a while until I can find something else. I eventually do. You'll find out here in a minute. I'll eventually find someone else. And then, of course, it didn't last long before someone got in the way. And you'll find out. But, like I said, I moved back. We used our friend's truck. I didn't like doing it to him. I mean, I had to get back home. And I had to get my stuff back home. I didn't like doing it, but we used his truck. We used him to get back to the house. Lost all contact with him. My cousin found a girl, and she stayed with him. She moved back with a sexy, beautiful blonde chick, but she was a little too freaky to be trusted. And come to find out, my sentiments were right. Because we were sitting in my room as we were at the house waiting for him to go to the bathroom, and she had her foot hovering above my crotch, trying to untie my laces to my sweats so she can pull them down. She didn't, when I called her out on it, I looked at her, she said, I'm just trying to untie your shoestrings, or your strings. I know what she was trying to do. And then eventually, he caught her with two dark-skinned dudes. He went to left one day, came back to the house, and she was in a menage a trois, a threesome, two dark-skinned dudes, and they were going heavy at it. And he ended up taking her back to Mina and dropped her off and came back home. But I knew she wasn't. She was a freak. She was pretty, she was gorgeous, she was sexy, but she was a freak. She just wanted to have sex, and she proved it. And he took her back. He thought he found something, but well, I'm sorry, Philip, you didn't find nobody. Sorry, dude.
You found a whore.
You found a whore, is what you found. Nothing more, nothing less. But this next poem was inspired by the breakup. I was wanting to get back on my feet, and I had been experiencing the first love like that. You can't just let it go. And so once you lose something like that, you kind of want it back. So I made Dreaming of Love. I already done Dreaming from the Past. I already done that one. This one's called Dreaming of Love. I've been in a lot of poems about dreams because that's where I live. My real life is a series of heartaches and headaches and disappointments and letdowns. And so these dreams that I venture into take and distract me from how I really live, how my life really is. So I visit them a lot. And Dreaming of Love, and a lot of my titles to my poems, Dreaming of Love, Dreaming from the Past, Daydream songs. A lot of my poems have dreams in them, have storylines that have dream world in it. This is one of them, but it's short. It's not big. A lot of them, of course, some of my poems are real short. I do have some long ones though. You'll see as they're coming up. You've already seen some that are pretty long, but some of them really do get about 2 or 3 pages long. Some even longer than that. One of them's pretty cool. You'll like it once we get to it. It's a little ways down the line, but you'll like it. Dreaming of Love. Fighting a war that's never ending has now changed as the opposition is stronger. The battles have become relentlessly fiercer. Still, though, I continue to fight. And in doing so, I will become stronger. Love, however, is still so far away. And in my dreams, they have become weak. My dreams are still there, just not as abundant. I will, though, bring back my dreams. Dreams of falling in love again and becoming whole. Eventually, though, I still got my first car, the Fairmont. and eventually I would find another love. Her name was Trish. And I met her through my mom and my sister, Amy.
Hold on. This sounds like it sounds like it says your name. Listen.
Yeah,
Steven.
it does. You know. Anyway,
Steven.
shut up. I'm trying to talk. Anyway, I did find someone else eventually. I met with my mom and my sister. And, of course, my mom was dating her brother. Of course, she was dating a younger guy. This guy was in his 30s. My mom was in her 50s. My mom was almost twice his age. And Trish was pregnant when I first met her. But I didn't care if she was pregnant or not. She was single. She was pretty. But anyway, Mom hooked us up, and we ended up going downstairs to her room one night and did the naughty. And of course, she couldn't. She liked her sex hard and fast, but she couldn't do it hard and fast at this point in time because, like I said, she was pregnant and she didn't want to. I didn't want to hurt the baby inside, so she did it slowly. We did it slowly, and it was nice.
Well, she's a responsible mother.
Yeah, but once I went to AIT when I got back, she had the baby, and then she really wanted to ramp up the sex.
Think they want to have some fun?
No, she wanted to ramp up the sex, and like I said, she liked it hard and fast, even in the anal area. And once you got it in, she wanted you to ram it in there. She didn't want to.
She didn't want to play around.
She didn't want to play around. She didn't want to mess around. I wasn't used to hard and fast like that, but you know, after a few times, I got used to it, and it began to feel pretty good. I like slow. I like slow rhythm or slow and rhythmatic pace. I don't like just ramming it in there, but that's how she wanted it. And we were doing just fine. And we were having a good time, enjoying ourselves, enjoying our time together. I mean, sometimes she would wake me up and want to have sex. And, well, it was going okay until my mother and her brother had a disagreement one night or one weekend. And that disagreement, my mom, her, they were arguing, fussing. My mom went off to spend some time with her friends, and spent the evening with her friends. And she didn't come home that night. And he took it that she was out cheating on him. So he went out with to a bar, hooked up with a chick at the bar, and had some wild sex, and came home with a hickey on his neck. Hook. What the heck was I talking about?
A hooky?
Came home with a hickey.
Oh, what's a hooky?
Well, it was basically bar. It was basically a hooker because.
No, I'm still curious what a hooky is.
Just shut up. She was a bar chick, so I guess I was talking about a hooker. Which this is basically what she ended up being, and she gave him a hickey, and he was sitting there on the couch reading the paper, and she was trying to talk to him about the hickey. Where'd it come from? What are you doing with the hickey? What's your problem? And did you have sex with another girl? Did you have fun? Did you enjoy it? Or you not going to talk to me? And he was ignoring her. And my mom is not somebody to be ignored. So she went and got a pistol. No, a rifle. 22 rifle. You can hear her loading it up in the room. He didn't think he didn't think she would use it. So he just kept reading the paper. He had his legs sprawled out on the base of the couch. Just kind of laid back. Just had his legs all sprawled out, just reading the paper, like it was his bit, like it was nobody's business. Well, she did use the 22 rifle. She fired at him. She was aiming for his nuts, and she shot the legs of the couch out. She was a bad aim. But
he got lucky.
He got lucky because she was a bad angle. As soon as I heard that shot, I turned around, and that door was already open. And I looked to see where he went. He was already halfway down the road.
He's like, oh, shit.
He was booking it. He didn't even have his shoes on. He didn't have a shirt on. He had nothing on. He just had his shorts. He was already running down the road as fast as he possibly could.
Yeah, I would be too. Like
Yeah, because she missed his nuts by that much. Because that's where because where he was sitting, his crotch was right here, and the leg of the couch was right there.
It's his fault. He's the
So
one
she
that
missed.
cheated.
So she missed this part right here, and shot the top of that leg off. So she missed his nuts by that much. She was going to shoot him, and she's going to shoot him in the balls.
I mean, it would have been his fault.
And so I and Trish found out about it, and her and the mom kind of had a few words, and she wasn't too excited about it, but Mom kind of forced her out. When she was staying with both of us, all staying there at the house. Me and Trish had a room in the garage area that was built into a room. Of course, her and her brother, my mom was dating. They just slept together in their room. It was a 3-bedroom, and she kind of forced Trish out. And of course, me being Trish's boyfriend, I kind of left with her. And went to go stay at her younger brother's home, where her younger brother stayed. Me, Mike, and Trish stayed with her. I forgot the younger brother's name. Of course, evidently it's irrelevant to the point, because I didn't know very much about him. But and Trish had some, like I said, she was kinky to the point, but she couldn't do certain sexual favors because she had a bad experience, and then you add this on top of it, and then after a few weeks or several days of staying at her brother's, tensions built up between me and her, and we ended up separating. So the overall fact of the matter is, my mother pretty much
Shot that in the foot.
And destroyed our relationship.
Quite literally.
By shooting at her brother, causing tension between her.
He kind of deserved it.
Yeah, he kind of deserved it, but there was no point dragging me and Trish into it, because we had a good relationship. Trish loved me and I loved her. We had a nice little relationship going.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want to break up, but we knew we kind of had to. We both cried about it, and then she left, and I kind of followed her to work one last time just to watch her, just to see her one last time, and then walked back and called for a ride, and gathered my stuff up and went back to my grandmother's, to my room. We would meet again one more time a few years later, and this is the sad part. She had gained excessive weight. She had gone to the streets, and she had gotten on drugs a little bit. She wanted me to go to her apartment for a little bit, just kind of spend the day with her, but we just kind of sat there in the car and talked, because I know if we went back to the apartment, we would have had sex, which is what she was wanting. I kind of weaseled out of it. I didn't come out flat out and say no, but I did weasel out of it. Come to find out, a few years after that, she overdosed on drugs, and she is no longer here.
That sucks.
She's dead. So, after all the hard knocks and all the turmoil in her life, I think I was her chance at a turnaround. And once that got shot out of the water, she just kind of gave up and went to drugs and gained weight and ended up overdosing on drugs, pretty much killing herself.
Kind of a depressing story.
Yeah, that's the way life goes sometimes. And of course, the older you get, the more death gets involved, the more people pass away that you know, that you've seen and met, and come to be friends, and of course, family eventually starts passing away. But that's what comes. It comes with age. It comes with life. There's no way around it. There's no way to avoid it. But of course, I also lost my car. The brake pads, the brake drums went out, and I sold the body of the car, which the motor was still good. Sold it to Mark. And of course, Mark one thing he likes to do is take vehicles and fix them up and sell them. And that's pretty much what he did with the Fairmont. He took it, he cleaned it up, fixed it up, and then he sold it for about $800, $1,200 or something. That was his hobby. That was his pastime. And of course, he had a job. He did. But he'd done this. He was a tire man for big truck company. He changed tires. But that's just what he did. He done this on the side. Give him something to do on the side. To keep himself busy. And of course, like I said, I ended up moving back to my grandmother's, back into my room. Of course, my bike was still there. No one touched it. She wouldn't let nobody touch it. So I went back to riding my bicycle. My old big, massive, bulky 18-speed bicycle. I love that damn bike. I hate to get rid of it. But that thing was huge. That thing, I had everything on it. I had that thing all dressed up. Went back to riding bike. Got a job in another restaurant down there. Ride my bike to work. Park it in the basement. Off work, go down there, change in the restroom. Get the bike out of the basement. Go for a bike ride. Stop at the hill where the gas station was at. Get me a personal pan pizza, bag of chips, soda. They had a little movie spot in there where you could rent some VHS tapes. It was at the VHS time at this point in my life. Still doing VHSs. So I'd rent some VHS tapes. I'd rent some movies for Grandma. Charles Bronson, that was her man. Oh boy, I tell you what, if I could find a Charles Bronson movie, she was happy. She loved her Charles Bronson movies. I'd find her drama movies. If I couldn't find a Charles Bronson movie, I'd find some drama movies for her to watch. And I'd take my movies into my room, watch my movies. She'd watch her movies. And then once I'm done watching movies, I take them back, ride down to the store on a bicycle, return the movies, ride back to the house. It was an everyday thing. Until I was able to get another car, which was a few more months down the line. I had to get a job. I had to build up the money first. I had to build the money up. But we're just about into this segment here. We got one more segment, and we're going to end chapter 3. So we're going to wrap this segment up of this episode. I think it's 15. And then we're going to go in behind this one and do episode 16. And that will be the end of chapter 3. Chapter 3 will be wrapped up, and then we'll get ready to start chapter 4 on the next episode. It'll be episode 17. Start chapter 4. Chapter 4. So, like I said, we're doing a double feature. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to push stop.
I'll be doing the next
and
one.
We're going to do another one. So you're going to get 2 videos for the price of 1. So please stand by. We got another video coming. Peace out. We'll see you in just a second. Take care.